All right, all right. How's everybody doing? Can everybody see and hear me? Check one, check one. All right, comment for me, guys, if you can see and hear me okay before we get started. All right, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. All right. I see everybody. Okay. Thanks, guys. I love it. Oh boy, we are going to get into some cool stuff today. So first of all, comment back, please, if you got some of your homework done yesterday. I have to quick apology due to just a screw up that I had on the emails. Half the list wasn't getting the email, so y'all just got a barrage of emails that may be duplicates. I sincerely apologize for that, but I just had to make sure that everybody got what they needed to get. First, it won't happen again. We got that all straightened out. So thank you for that. Two is who got their homework done? Who got their business account, their business manager account set up? Who got their ads account set up? Who got, please comment, who got your payment method attached to your ad account, and who was able to fill out all their business information and maybe even get their business verified or their ID verified. Let me know. Jay Stott, good job. Tracy Lip, awesome. Love it. Corey Wilkins, Nyla, good job. Jackson, don't worry about it. You can access all that stuff. I'm going to leave that first episode up for a little bit longer today, Jackson, so you can check that out. And then afterwards, there's a link that I just sent you in the email where you can access all this stuff 24/7. I haven't put the hi Pamela. Sorry about that. Hi Carrie, good job. Subdomain, love it. Michael Roth. Okay, good. Some people are mostly done. All right, you guys are doing good. Good. This is what I want. I want to give you the confidence to move forward. This stuff is just foreign. Once it's not foreign anymore, then it starts to get like super creative and fun. So let's start with one thing that I forgot yesterday was to just have you all connect your Instagram accounts. And if you're out of America, also WhatsApp. Some of you have WhatsApp. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to go to Google Chrome, and let's see here. Everybody can see that okay. So we are now in the business manager section, which is where I want everyone to be. And let me just go ahead and make sure I'm recording this sucker too. How about that? There we go. Okay. All right. So if you look here at, by the way, I'm so proud of you guys for getting all that work done up front. Good job. I hope you're feeling good about it so far. So moving down, if you just go to, here's the people part where you should see all that stuff. I put graphics in that homework synopsis too. We'll do that every day. If you just go to Instagram accounts and WhatsApp accounts, you click on that. That's where you're That's where you're going to connect your account. Okay. Or WhatsApp, same thing. It's very self-explanatory. You just go in, put your information and click continue. It'll walk you right through it. Very important that you have these connected, because when you're running ads, you really want to be able to put those on Instagram. You want to be able to put them on WhatsApp if you're international, or if you're an American artist and you're releasing stuff in the UK and over in Europe and stuff like that. It's going to be really important. So I forgot about that. I put that in the synopsis from day one, but I want to make sure that you all get that stuff connected. Do not forget that. Very, very important. Okay. Now, Pixels. Woo! Let me tell you something. There's so much going on with Pixels right now. I'm going to walk you through everything step by step. We're going to create a Pixel today. I'm going to show you how to do this. And then I'm going to drop some information on you that's going to blow your freaking mind. And maybe it's going to piss you off, but it's only temporary. I promise you. But it's important that we know how to do this. So you want to go down here. You want to click on Pixels right here. And you see, I have a pixel already created, but we're going to create a new pixel just so I can walk you through every step, and everybody can, and we're going to inject it in one of my pages, and then we'll test it so you guys can see how this works. So what is a pixel? A Facebook pixel is Facebook's answer to a cookie. And I mean, connect with me and just text back and comment if you know what Corey Wilkins, my braille. By the way, Corey Wilkins is a blind country artist, y'all. I love this guy. And if you haven't seen his freaking video of him literally driving a car through a drive-through at McDonald's, then you need to check that out. Corey, I give you permission to put that link in this comment section, because that's so awesome. But so everybody knows what a cookie is. Comment if you know what a cookie is, right? When you go to Instagram, I'm sorry, not Instagram, when you go to Amazon, and this is like one of the first things I do when I start working with a client that's a music business artist and I want to just drop the bomb and get their attention. I say, let's talk about what you know about, let's see, Jamie Weimer, Facebook isn't allowing me to connect what? Oh, to connect your Instagram account. Okay, make sure your password's right. I think that's what's going on there. So when I drop the bomb on new clients, what I will tell them is I'll ask them, hey, you've been to Amazon, you know how that works, right? Tell me what Amazon knows about you. And there's a laugh. Everybody's like, it's an easier conversation to talk about what Amazon doesn't know about me. But let's just go down that quick list, right? Amazon knows your name, got your email address, got your phone number, has probably multiple credit cards on file for you, not just one, probably multiple shipping addresses, not just for you, but also for your friends and freaking family, right? And they know what you bought. They have a whole history of everything you've ever purchased that you can access in your account whenever you want. And they also know what you looked at, but you didn't buy, right? Now, let's talk about that for a second. What happens when you choose not to purchase? That product follows you everywhere. It's on every website that you're on. It's in your email, your Gmail, your Yahoo, whatever, your Hotmail. It's in your feed. It's insane, right? This is digital tracking, and it's extremely important. A pixel is Facebook's answer to a cookie, okay? So Facebook pixels collect data. So I've got, if you look here, I've got, with my concert promoter here, I got multiple shows that are on sale right now. You can kind of get a glimpse of that there. Okay, so with this specific service, iTickets, I'm not promoting them or for or against them. It's just a service that this promoter uses at my behest because it was one of the few companies, online ticket sale companies, that understood what a pixel was and allowed you to inject the pixel. Okay, but I can put a pixel on the landing page when the ad drives people to the buy page, right? To an event page, we're going to buy tickets. I can put a pixel on that. It means the pixel fires. Okay, I'm going to show you what this means. But it means the pixel now collects information on that person, and I know that they were looking at possibly getting, in this case, a concert ticket. Okay, then if they click on one of those seats, like, hey, I'm going to get the $40 seats, or I'm going to get the VIP seats, they click on that and they add it to the cart, I can put a pixel on that page. So a second pixel fires. So I know who is shopping. And then I have another group of information of people who actually put the product, in this case, a concert ticket, into the cart. Okay. And then where do you think I'm going to put the third pixel? I'm going to put that on the thank you page after the purchase happens. So now I know who bought, right? So if I'm doing a concert, promoting a concert show, and I'm driving traffic, and you can see, like, here, we're starting to get sales. You know, most of these are pretty early on. This one here is for a New Year's sale, but it's a small venue. And I'm guessing we'll probably have a really big rush in the next day or two as people are trying to figure out what they're going to do for New Year's, you know. But I can retarget. So it's getting information on those exact accounts. So I can retarget the, you know, these are how many people bought here. 71 people purchased these tickets for the New Year's Eve party, right? But there's a boatload of people who abandon the cart, and life happens, right? Maybe they were just about ready to purchase and the baby started crying, or the phone rang, or somebody came over to the house, or whatever. That stuff happens all the time. I can retarget those people. Hey, you've still got time. Don't forget to, you know, come and see Elton live, the best Elton John tribute band ever on New Year's Eve, blah, blah, blah. I can send them a very specific message and send an ad just to those people who abandoned the cart. I can also send another message that would be another ad that would be worded a different way to the people who shopped but didn't put it in the cart. Hey, we noticed you were looking at coming to see us. You know, tickets are selling out fast. you still got time, come out and check it out. So this is what a pixel does. You would put a pixel on your website. You should have a pixel on, certainly on your store on the website. And certainly for, I think Nyla is going to put together a guitar course. Well, Nyla, what we're going to do today when I make this pixel, we're going to inject it in one of my sales pages on ClickFunnels. So that's what I use. You use Kajabi, that's fine. But same kind of thing, but you'll see how it works and how it fires. And then you can create very specific ads that are targeted to very specific people. Okay, so does that make sense for everybody so far? So pixels are very important. They're in a little bit of a, let's just call them a hiatus right now. So here's the bomb I was going to drop on. I'll drop it on you first. Okay, I want you to learn this because pixels are going to continue to be very important right now. And it's just hugely important that you know this. So I included it in the course, but right now I'm actually going to tell you, when you run your first ads, don't do conversion ads. So when you do a conversion objective, which we're going to get to later on in the course here this week, okay, that requires a pixel to be set up correctly and be firing. Okay, and so in other words, it's until, like, if I do a conversion course or a conversion ad campaign for these tickets for this New Year's Eve party, the pixel I'm only interested in, the pixel that I'm going to put in the conversion campaign is the one that's on the thank you page that proves that they purchased. They only get to that page if they bought. Does that make sense for everybody? So, and what the conversion objective does is it'll just keep pummeling people with that ad when they show interest over and over and over again, like until they buy. So it's kind of, it acts like that cookie, right? It's going to follow you around and do all that stuff, right? So this is really, really powerful stuff. Okay, but the reason that I'm not going to recommend you use it right away is because if you, some of you, I don't expect you to be paying attention to this, but some of you may have noticed this past year that Zuckerberg, who is the CEO of Facebook, had a huge fight with Apple. Okay. And with the new Apple iOS, Apple gave people the ability, and you saw me use air quotes. Okay. Apple gave people the ability to opt out of getting their data tracked by Facebook Pixel. So before that, just so you guys understand how this works, Facebook was paying millions of dollars every year to access that data, because it doesn't matter if Facebook has a pixel or doesn't have a pixel or blah, blah, blah. If these people are using an iPhone, the data, they have to go through that first, right? So here's a gate. This is big old gateway, man. This is a big old gateway to a huge audience of iPhone owners. And when Apple came out and said, oh, we totally believe in the privacy of our device owners, and so we're going to allow them to opt out of the Pixel. Well, come on. That's a load of crap. They're not doing that. They're allowing you to opt out, but not because they care about your privacy, but because they're also going to want to sell that data. And they're going to make either you or marketers or Facebook pay. And you know, when Facebook pays, you pay, right, in the cost of the ad. So it just boils down to the marketers anyway, but it's going to, they're going to charge for that information. You want to access our people, you will. I promise you that, and literally, I think 80 or 90% of iPhone owners, when they got the iOS upgrade, opted out, which is why I'm going to tell you not to use these right now. Okay. However, I promise you, nobody read the actual information in there. So they didn't really opt out. They just opted out from Facebook is what they did. And I promise you that Apple is still collecting all that data. And now Apple's going to get into the data business, right? Because why shouldn't they? They have one of the biggest platforms that we use to give our data and collect our data. So it just makes sense. Just follow the money. That's the deal. Okay. So this is important. I want you to put these pixels up. I think you should be injecting your pixels. I think you should be making sure that they're firing, which is what we're going to walk through today. But don't create conversion campaigns yet. Okay. Only because by the way, I've been testing these like crazy, and my other campaigns are they're working far better than a conversion campaign normally would. It's a real kick in the gut that this happened, believe me. But yesterday, if you remember when I told you about the TG Shepherd shows and selling those out, I sold those out without any pixel data. Remember that story? Because the online ticket outlets for each of those three venues, there's three different ticket outlets. What a complete pain in the butt. Those online ticket outlets didn't even know what a pixel was. So I had to find different ways to use the algorithm to my advantage to optimize those audiences, which we're going to get into tomorrow or the next day. I can't remember if we're doing audiences tomorrow or conversion, or objectives. But this week you're gonna learn about all that stuff. Okay, so there's always a way around the system. You can definitely do this without a pixel. But when pixels finally get reconnected with Apple and they come up with some new plan that's going to cost somebody some money to do it, to use the information, they're going to be back in business. God bless us all. It'll be great. The only other way around that, I figure, is if Facebook tries to get in the phone business, but I think that would be a mess. I think Google tried that and it wasn't good, So here we go. Let's create a pixel. So we're going to go down here. We're going to click on pixels, which I did. Now we're going to click add a pixel. This is going to allow us to add a brand new pixel. Okay. So I'm going to call this the 5-day challenge pixel. Okay. And this is enter your website URL for easy setup options. We're not going to do that because we're going to use a different website. We're going to do this a different way. I'm going to show you on my website where I put it, but I'm creating this just so you can see the steps. I've already got another pixel in there. I'm not going to mess with that, but I will show you how to inject it on another page. So have no fear. So now it's creating the pixel. Okay. Are you ready to set up your pixel? Yes. So let's click set up pixel now. Okay. So now here's, oh my God, this is a lot of text. It looks extremely scary. It's crazy. Choose how you want to install the pixel code. Select the best method for adding the pixel code to your site based on how the website was built or wherever you're going to install the code. So what I do is just go to manual. Okay. So I'm going to click on the manual add pixel code to website. Look at that. There's the base code for the pixel. Super cool, right? So see where it says copy code to clipboard, click on that. We're going to copy it. You see it turns green. Then continue. And here's what's going to use the Facebook setup tool, which is what they call recommended. So we're going to use the setup tool. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to I am going to jump to ClickFunnels and log in and get on a funnel. So ClickFunnels is the pages that you guys clicked on to get access. All of you got access to the 5-day challenge. Some of you bought already the lifetime access to the video content that we're creating today and for the rest of the week. That you went through ClickFunnels. Okay. There's a lot of different competitors that do this kind of stuff, but we're going to click on what everybody will recognize. This is the 5-day challenge for artist funnel here. So if I click on edit the page, I'm sure you're going to recognize this already. Okay. I'm going to go to settings. Now this is Facebook pixel, and this isn't a tutorial on ClickFunnels. I just do the tracking code, which is where we want to put it because this whole integration isn't ideal. So I'm going to take that tracking code right in here, header code, footer code. I always just put it in the header. And then I'm just going to cut and paste it, guys. There it is, just like that. Okay, so then I'm gonna X out of that. I'm gonna save it. Okay. So now I've injected the pixel. All right, and then I'm gonna go out here. So that is this is the opt-in page. Here's the actual sales page. Okay, we're gonna go inject the code in here. Hey, Corey, you know what's funny? It says Corey Wilkins is watching on my live chat feed. I love you, man. Corey Wilkins is listening. So now we're on, this is the page where you guys opted in to purchase the access. Thank you all for doing that. I'm going to go to settings again, tracking code. I'm going to put that in here. And I'm just going through this now, not to show you what to do on ClickFunnels, but I'm going to show you when we test these. I want you to see how I set these up. Okay. So it's super, super, super important. Okay, Carrie, my brain is quickly going through Bandzoogle, trying to think where I input the code. I'm sure Bandzoogle has it, and guess what? I'm almost betting to, because I think I've done this in Bandzoogle before, that it's so ridiculously simple. You're probably looking for something more sophisticated than it needs to be. So then, okay, we've saved this. Now we're going to go put it on the. This is the thank you page. So this means the purchase happened. Okay. So I'm going to go to edit page here. You guys have all seen these pages. You recognize them. I'm going to go to tracking code. So on these different places like Bandzoogle, like different parts of your website, I'm going to show you my website. It could ask for the code, which is what I'm injecting here, which I just copied and pasted. Very simple. It could also ask for the pixel ID if it's Facebook specific. And I'm going to show you where to find that too. Okay, so just bear with me here. So now this is injected here. Now let's go back to our pixel setup. Yes, you put the same pixel on multiple pages, Jay. And here's where, so what you're putting in is the pixel base code. Okay. Now what we're going to do is set up these events. Okay, Jay, and I think this is a really good question that you asked, brother, because you're like, how does it discern between firing on this page, or this page? Well, that has to do with the URL and the event setup tool that we're going to use right now. Okay, so follow me along. All right, here we go. So now that you've installed the pixel base code, you can use the event setup tool to track the actions that matter most to your business without using additional code, which is cool. So we are going to do that. Oh my gosh, Mike Abbas, thank you. I don't know if you can see this, Carrie Cunningham, but he said you go to edit content /pages /site-wide settings and click Facebook pixel link. You rock, Mike. Thank you so much. All right, so I clicked on the events button there. Okay, and now we're in the web. We're going to put the website URL in there. So I'm going to go back to my ClickFunnels and let's start. Let me just make sure I saved that. I'm sure I did, but I've got OCD, so I have to double check. Now let's just start with the opt-in page. And what I'm looking for is just a URL for the opt-in page. That's right here. Okay, so I'm going to grab this. I'm going to copy and paste this. And then I'm going to go and paste that in here. Then click open website. Now watch what happens. What? You see that? See that right there? How fun is this? Okay, how freaking fun. Guys, this is man, when it comes to freaking marketing, nobody's doing this stuff. No artists are doing it. No labels are doing it. They're all still kicking the dead horse of radio, and then they're literally letting artists handle the social media. They don't have anything at the labels set up to manage all this kind of data and this traffic in any way whatsoever. The opportunity here, guys, is this is like freaking tech porn for me right here. Artist porn. This is so good because now this box here that just popped up is not going to pop up unless the pixel's installed correctly. Okay, you saw how easy it is to do that. Now I can track just the URL. Okay, or I can track the button. Watch this. If I click track the button, it's already highlighted right here. So I'm going to click that, select an event. Now I'm going to name it. So we're going to call this a lead, because what's happening is this goes into, well, let's call this initiate checkout. Okay. Now, at this point, if I'm selling product, you're right, Tracy. I know. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's so easy. I love it. I love it. So now I can put a value on this if I want to, right? So for this particular page, I could put the value of $9.97 because, well, actually on this page, it's just the initiate checkout. So I'm not going to include the value. I'm just going to click confirm. Okay. So now let's go to finish setup. We're going to finish out. Okay. Was that event tools? Do you think that event setup tool was helpful? Yes, it was. Thank you so much. Submit. Okay. Done. All right. Now let's do another one. Okay. So let's close out. And now it's going to ask us to test events. Well, where we're going to go for this is, oh, you know what? We've installed some Pixel. What I forgot to show you is how to connect the Pixel to the ad account. So forgive me. I'm just going to take a back step here real quick. By the way, see the Daredevil lead pixel right here? See this green dot up here? Shows that it's firing. This one, not firing yet. Okay. So we've got some other work that we need to do. So we're going to click on add accounts. Okay. Daredevil production. Add assets. Wait a second. I want to go to Pixel and connect assets. So I'm sorry, go down to pixels, connect assets. First of all, let's add people. You need to add yourself. So if you just click on add people. So once again, I'm on the pixels, 5 day. I'm on the new pixel that I started. Click on add people. I'm just going to click on my name. And then I'm going to add myself to manage this pixel, assign. Okay. And then we're going to go to add assets. And I want to add the Daredevil production as the asset. And you see the 5 day challenge pixels down here. Okay. And so it's the Daredevil production ad account that I'm adding to the pixel. So it's important that we do that. Okay. So we're done. So there's the assets. Wait, why is it showing that? There we go. All right. So Daredevil lead pixel. Do this for this one too. Dungy. And Daredevil production. Dungy. Okay. All right. So now you've connected everything that you need to connect. We are good to go. So now where we're going to go is let's go hit on, we're going to go, I think we can reach there from pixels, or I'm going to show you another. So if you see, let's go to Facebook, the right pixel here, 5 day challenge pixel. I'm having to move my little window around where I can see myself, guys. Hold on. And so, by the way, right here, you see the Facebook challenge pixel. This is the pixel ID that you can copy and clip. Just keep that in mind. That's where we're going to go back to find that when we need that. We're going to open up this pixel in Events Manager by clicking that button in the upper right-hand corner. All right. And look at that, initiate checkout active. So if I go to, are you ready for this? If I click on this, so this is the URL for that first page that we created the pixel event for, initiate checkout. I just visited this now. Okay, so this is the, now I'm not on the back end, I'm on the front end. This is the actual URL. Okay, and if I click, I'm ready to transform. It takes me to the next page. Okay. Now watch this. So there's a little bit of a delay. All right, so while we're waiting for that event to come through, it'll just take a little bit of time. Let's go do the other ones, okay? So, but this is where we're gonna test it. Super cool. Test events. So there's a couple different ways we're gonna be able to test this. So right now, let's go back to the hamburger menu here. Okay, this is where all the tools are gonna be. So I can go click business settings, so I can go back to what I know. Okay. We're going to go to data sources again, which is the pixel. I'm going to click on the pixels, the 5-day challenge pixel. There we go. Open an events manager and let's add a new event. So create audience. We want to, okay, add events here. So this is where I'm going to add the events now for the add to cart page and for the purchase page. Okay. So once again, make sure we're on the right pixel here. Okay. We're at add events. I'm going to click on this. We're going to use from the pixel. So add events using the pixel code or the event setup tool. Jackson, don't worry, man. You can go back and review this stuff. Okay. It's just foreign. It's foreign, you guys. Yeah. So you can use so Tracy Lib, you can use pixels to track which pages they're on. Okay. So just Jackson, when you just walk through this step by step and everybody else who this is overwhelming, trust me, it's not rocket science. Okay. It's just foreign. Okay. And so Jackson, I think this is your first day because you came in late. Maybe you had a chance to see the first one. Go back and check out the first one and you'll be able to work through all this. Okay. So if your business account isn't set up yet, you're going to have a little extra homework today, but that's okay. All right. So what we want to do, guys, is we're going to test the next event here from the pixel. I'm going to click on that. We're right back with the setup tool again. Open up the setup tool now. So I'm going to X out of this. Now I'm going to go to the next page that we injected code. This is where it's going to be added to the cart. So I'm going to grab this URL, copy and paste it. I'm going to go back to my setup tool, put that in here, click open website, and wait for my box to pop up. There we are. And once again, I am going to track a new button, which is, of course, this is the purchase button right here, right? So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to select an event. Now, normally this would be add to cart. I'm just going to actually make this purchase because this is specific to ClickFunnels, guys, but this is just, the purchase is going to happen on this page, not on the thank you page. So to track it correctly, this is going to be called a purchase. Am I going to choose a value on the page? Yes, I am going to choose. I didn't put a value on there. So it's going to be USD. let's just not include the value because I didn't put the value on the initiate checkout. If I want the value to be on there, I can go back and edit the event on the initiate checkout page to make it $9.97. And then I can choose that value on here. And then not only will Facebook track your conversions, it'll also tell you how much money you're making and be able to give you like real time, hey, this is how much you're spending on ads. This is how many of your people you're reaching. This is how much money you're making. Okay. So we're going to confirm that. All right. And then we are going to finish the setup right there. Don't ask me again. Okay, so now we can see that we have, we're going to test this here. So by the way, once again, I'm on the 5-day pixel, 5-day challenge pixel we created. See how this already shows that the page view happened right here. So that's the first page view. All right. Now let's see if it gets the next one right away. Not yet. So again, a little bit of time that's happening there. Waiting for activity. All right, now let's go and do the third one. So let's go back to the overview, which is the upper left-hand corner here. I am going to scroll down and click on from the pixel again. Let's go through the pixel one more time. And this time I'm going to go to the, oh, you know why it didn't fire yet was because we haven't landed on it yet. So let's put that there. Okay, now I've landed on the page that we just selected. Now let's go to the third page, the thank you page. And let's grab that URL. We're gonna copy and paste that. Go to our setup tool, paste it in there, open the website. Here comes the event page. So once again, I'm gonna track the button on this, which is this button right here. Select an event, and let's just call this, oh, what do we call this here? Let's just call this complete registration. Okay, confirm. All right, now we're then finish setup tool, finish, done. I told you not to ask me again on the setup tool, helpful thing. Awesome. Now what I'm going to do is just, again, I'm just going to jump to this URL and actually visit it. Okay, so we're there. And then if we go back to our pixel pages and we go to test events. All right. And then let's see if we've got anything that's happening that's flooded through yet. There we go. So processed. Okay, so you can see that each one of these happened on the page. Now let's see here. So when you're setting up your ad, so you can see here that, you know, the complete registration event is set up. The purchase event is set up. The initiate checkout event is set up. In the test events page, guys, it just shows page view because that's the basic code. Okay, but the overview is what we're looking at. And when this will make sense to you when you go to, when it's time to create a conversion ad, you're going to be able to choose which event that you want the conversion to count on, right? And so in this case, I would, if I was running ads for this, which I didn't, this is just kind of a you know, I wanted to test this out on you guys and make sure that I'm giving you what you need. Everybody's happy with what they're learning and be able to give you the confidence through doing it with me to move forward and feel much better about this ads platform. Okay. So let's see, depending on who you use for the website, you can see all the information in the back end too. Absolutely. So now let's go inject some, show you what you can do like specifically for a website. So right here, if I go into, so this is Daredevil, this is Daredevil Productions website, right? If I go in the back end, now I'm on WordPress, so this is going to be different for people who are on Wix or different for people who are on Bandzoogle like Carrie Cunningham, but you get the idea. So one of the apps I have installed is called Pixel Your Site. Very specific because it uses the word pixel. It's very specific, obviously, to Facebook. Okay, so in this case, guys, and this is important for all of you, not just for people who have WordPress websites, okay? But if I click on events, whoops, I want to go, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to the general here. And it's click for settings on the Facebook pixel. It's see this right here? It's asking for the pixel ID. It's not asking for the code. All right. So you may be asked for the pixel ID. It just depends on how savvy the platform is and how connected it is to Facebook. Pixel Your Site for WordPress is a plugin. Okay. It's a free plugin that I used. I think I'm pretty sure it's free. So when I want the pixel code or the pixel ID, that's where I showed it to you before. I'm going to go back to business settings and I'm going to go to data sources and I'm going to click on pixels. And there's the 5-day challenge pixel. Here is, I would just click on this right here. This is the pixel ID. And I would copy this over to here and then save it. And now my site is pixeled. Now, depending on who you use for your browser, you have, in your browsers, you have, you can add, what do they call these? I'm having a brain fart. They're called, what are they called? They're called extensions. So you can add, like in Chrome, you can add an extension for Google, which a Google tag is like a Facebook pixel. Same thing. And this right here is the Facebook pixel helper. Okay. So if you'll notice, when I go to visit, if I go to visit Daredevil Production, I visit the site, I'm off the back end now. Watch what happens right up here with this. You see how it shows you how many pixels are on that site? So this will tell you, like, when you go to certain places, if they have a pixel, if they're tracking you, the pixel, if they're tracking you with a Google tag. Okay. So let's see, let's X out of this. Let's X out of this, I think. So does this make sense? I think so. And so, by the way, in the hamburger menu up here, you can also find the events manager. That's where right here saying this is the same button, open an events manager. And you want to make sure that you're opening up for the right pixel. Okay. And we showed you just how, now, if you are going to work with a ticket outlet, for instance, iTickets. Okay. So for them, this is a situation where I don't know how, I want to choose my words carefully here. I don't know how, I like them because they have some recognition of a pixel and I can track stuff in there. I'm very grateful for that. However, like the way that it shows to inject it is, if I want it done an appropriate way, I have to have somebody there do it. Their tech people do it, which is fine. But so what I would do was I would go and copy and paste the pixel code, right? So if I open this pixel up in Events Manager again, how do you copy and paste the pixel code after you've already created the pixel? Does that make sense? So you're just going to go to, my thing is in the way here. Hold on. So if I go up to manage integrations, okay, right here we are once again in the events, manage events section. I've clicked on the right pixel, which is the 5-day challenge pixel. Okay. And I'm going to click over here on manage integrations. Then I'm going to add to another website. I'm going to click on that. And it's going to pull up install code manually. This is where I can go and get that code again. Okay. Just copy the code. All right. And then I can actually go to an email and cut and paste that code in an email to give to somebody at support for your ticket outlet to inject in your page so that you can manage that. So let's just talk about pixels here for a second. And anybody's got any questions right now, please, fire them over. Once again, the pixels aren't working the way they used to just right now. And that's because of all the issues with Facebook and Apple. Okay. It's ugly. It's stupid. I mean, Zuckerberg literally took out a couple full page ads in the Washington or the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal bashing Apple because he's like, oh, I can't, because it was going to affect all his advertisers. That's a big deal for Zuckerberg because this is how they make their money with advertising. Okay. This is how they make their money. But Pixel offers a very, very cool way, especially for e-commerce, to be able to get the real numbers on your ad campaigns. Okay. I'm going to be rolling out a new program here early next year with Lindsay Kirkendall, who you may have seen me do a couple of different events with Lindsay. She used to work for Sony, used to work for big magazine. She's all about orbiting around the same planet that I am. Let's get artists onto digital platforms, teach them how to do it, because this is where you don't need to ask anybody's permission. You just have to learn some stuff that's foreign, and then it gets really fun and super creative. Okay. But we're going to have like an e-commerce first type of thing. That is a program that we're assembling that will actually create like instant cash flow for artists using a product to drive traffic to their artist's brand, as opposed to the way it normally has been done, which is, go get the record deal, then go get on the radio, then have a bunch of #1 hits when whispering when people were listening to the radio, and then create a multi-million-dollar brand name, and then you go sell some stuff, right? Because everybody's going to buy your stuff because of the brand. That's the way you guys are thinking right now, because that's the way you've always been marketed to. But now we don't have to do that. I want to remind everybody that if you think back to the very first Apple iPod commercials, which came out in 2003, I just noticed they brought these back, by the way. It's this dancing silhouettes that they had. So it's just like a black silhouette with a colored background, like green or blue or some sort of bright color. And if you remember the iPod, that was when they first invented those, the EarPod headphones, and they had the long white. So it was just a black silhouette with the white headphones in, and it just showcased the white cord, and they're dancing around doing all this crazy stuff. And the band that was playing was a debut band. It was their debut single. The band was called Jet. The song was called "Are You Gonna Go My Way?" If you remember, that's like dan 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 bam 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 bam. 1, 2, 3, take my hand and come with me. You look so fine, and I really want to make you mine. You remember that song? That, you guys, that product, which had something to do with music, yes, but that product helped that record sell 4 million copies because people were copping on to the vibe of the song and the music, and being dialed in on a product that they wanted, So this pixel stuff's going to matter for that. So I want you guys all today to be able to inject the pixel code. I'll tell you what, let's just show you what it looks like on the back end too, when it starts working again. Okay, so we're going to X out of this. Let's go to let's see, where do we want to go to show you pixels? Wait, I want to go to Gold Concerts, another promoter that we work with. All right, bear with me. Did I get rid of that? I'm always cleaning house, and I think I got rid of that. Hold on here. So let me see if I have, just to show you kind of what it looks like. Do these functions work on the Business Suite mobile app, or is it best to accomplish these tasks on an actual computer? Corey, that's a good question. I've never set up my ads on mobile. I've only ever done them on computer. I've monitored them on mobile. I haven't done them on there. So you know what? I don't have an answer for you on that. Let me know how it works out if you can set it up. I want to say it's probably the computer, because you're just going to need a little bit more guts to be able to make that work. Thank you, Pamela Mary. You love the way I think. I love it. I love the way you guys think, because you're here and we're going to change the world with this stuff, you guys. So, oh, here we go. Gold Concerts. All right. So check this out. This is, here's some older campaigns that we did that I will show you had. Let's see if these had the pixel data or not. Don't worry about what you're looking at now. You're going to learn all this stuff in the next couple days, guys. Okay. In the next couple days, but let's just see if we have any conversions. That it's been, we run so many ads, guys, that all the conversion stuff is just so buried in the feed that, gosh darn it. Hold on one second here. Let's go look at RPG ads. See if we've got performance and clicks. Results. So these are conversion ads, guys. And you can see here, these are old conversion ads. This is for a corporate client that I work with, and they do recruiting. But these are the results, right? So when you have a conversion ad, you see how that says all conversions. It's the recruiting webinar TY page, right? So 13, 22, 112. So this is what that stuff's going to look like. And then in this case, it's recruiting. They're not selling a product. In the case of e-commerce, there'll be a product, there'll be a price there. And you can judge, you know, if you're spending $9.50 to make $10, you're making money. As long as you're making money, you do it, right? It just makes sense. So just so you can see what that looks like. You know what else I want to show you guys too while we're here? We got a couple more minutes. Well, we got one more minute, but I just want to show you a couple things real quick. On some of the data that you guys can get as artists, I want you to see what you can learn here. So I want to go into Lala's account. This is, remember, this is that artist that we spent $1,000 promoting her music video on Facebook and Instagram only. And it went, and it just created a life beyond itself. Like, people got turned on to the song, and they went and searched out the song on YouTube, and they went and searched out the song on Spotify. And so it just is proof positive that if you have something that is compelling and you have good content, it can spark something. Something can really happen. So let's just get a good look here. So this is the ads platform. Okay. So if you guys click on the hamburger menu here and you go to Ads Manager, your Ads Manager will now show up. Okay. And you're not going to have any ads in there probably because maybe you've been boosting. But by the way, Pixel, another reason never to boost again. Okay. I know you're not going to use the pixels right out of the gate here, but I want you guys to, yeah, If you log into a web browser window instead of the mobile app, it should work if the mobile one doesn't. Oh, good looking out, Tracy. Thank you. So in the ads manager here, this is where the ads will be run. This is where we're going to set up and create campaigns. We're going to start getting into that the last 3 days of this challenge, guys, because we've got most of the infrastructure set up. You should be compliant. I want to know that you're compliant. And by the way, do me a favor and everybody else a favor. I don't care if you've already handled this or if you just handled it as of yesterday because of day one, but please take screenshots of like your domain being verified with that green light and screenshots of whatever you're comfortable with, like your business information, you block out whatever you want. But I just want people to know that you've done it and that they can do it too. You know what I mean? We want to keep everybody motivated here and give them the confidence to do this. It's tricky. But guys, so here is this is that ad campaign we talked about. You heard about it yesterday. We about $1,053 is what we ran. Okay. Here's the different data breakdowns that you can get. I'm going to freaking blow your minds right now to end today. I'm going to blow your freaking minds. Okay. So we can, what this is right here, this sort of sideways hamburger menu for the columns says, what kind of information do you want? I can create custom information. If I just want to look at video engagement, I'm going to click on that. It's going to tell me how many people watched this video, because this was, in this particular case, this is a music video. Okay. If I want engagement, I want to see who liked it, who clicked on the links, who shared the posts, who saved the video, who commented, how many people reacted, all that stuff. I'm going to do that with engagement, right? So I can, all this stuff, I can do this in real time while the freaking ad is running. Okay. Performance and clicks, like in this case, like who clicked through. So in this case, I just want them to watch the video. There was no call to action to click through, although we did have 5,000 clicks on the, on her website, just because people liked what they saw and they were interested in it. But the idea is that the objective of the campaign was not to get people to go do anything but just watch the video. I wanted them to watch the video. But check this out, guys. Okay, don't hang up yet. By delivery, I can break down all this information by delivery. Want to know how old the people are generally who like this stuff? Look at this. Are you kidding me? So here, this is telling me the percentages of people who really responded to the ad and the actual numbers, who clicked on it, broken down by age demographic. Isn't that crazy? Want to do something else? How about age and gender? Let's find out. Is it male or female? Mostly. Like, look at this, you guys. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, this is what, you guys, look, this is insane, right? This tells you how much money each one of these demographics spent. So, when I did the Chi-Chi Shepherd ticket show, when I first started working for that, initially I had my audience set between, and we're going to get more into this in the coming days. I'm not expecting you to connect the dots here, but just so you understand, I have my audience set from like 21 to 65 plus. And then I just went back and looked at the data, and clearly nobody below, I think, 45 cared about those ads. So I just adjusted my ads. I knew that's what it would be, but I wanted to make sure, because sometimes, guys, you always want to test. Okay, so I'm just going to test. I want to find out what's happening. So now watch this. So I just want to test and see. And it turns out like the demographic that I thought was going to be the one, which was 45 plus, was in fact the ones that were responding to the ads. But you know what? I spent $100 testing that to find out, to make sure. Check this out. By delivery. How about country? What? Look at this, you guys. So Bolivia really liked it. Brazil really liked it. Chile really liked it. Colombia really liked it. Ecuador, I mean, look at these numbers, guys. A lot of Hispanic countries really dug this. Venezuela, United States of America. So find out who likes you. You know what I mean? I mean, with this kind of data, when you find out the people that are watching your video, where they're from, who they like you can go back and not only retarget those accounts exactly, but maybe you need to be focusing on a certain country that just freaking loves you guys. Like Kevin is a friend of mine, the senior VP of marketing of CD Baby. And like for some reason they found out they're from a 12-year-old or 15-year-old record that they're huge in Germany, and they went and did a tour like in Germany with his band. Like they wouldn't have known that without this kind of data. Okay. How about regions, right? So we can go beyond just the countries. Let's find out what part of the countries, right? Which states, which, I mean, oh my guys, look at that. Are you kidding me? Like this will make more sense if I did it on something. How about this? Let me show you something different. Let's just go here let me just show you something that's in America so that you can see what this would mean for America. So here, let's do this real quick. And then we'll pull this up. So yeah, the real geeks are coming out just like me. Gary Cunningham, I love reports like this. I love reports like this too. I really do. It warms the cockles of my heart, you know. This is the kind of information that that will blow your mind. So let's see here. For that one, did you upload the video to the ad? So we'll talk about that when we create the campaign. The Lala video was different because I did upload the video to the ad, and that was in July of 2020, and in September of 2020 is when Facebook totally changed their ad. I'm sorry, not their ad platform. They totally changed their video platform, and your video platforms on your Facebook pages started to look like YouTube, right? And they made it so you could monetize and get subscribers and deal with it the same way that YouTube does. And they also made it so that you could create playlists on your video platform on Facebook, so that your videos wouldn't get buried through constant content upload, right? So it doesn't matter how many videos you have on your channel for YouTube. If I get turned on to an artist and I go to their YouTube channel and I check it out and I see like there's a playlist for original music videos, the first one is going to be the most recent one. Then I can jump to the very next one, which is the second most recent one. I can go down that rabbit hole. You didn't used to be able to do that before September 2020 on Facebook video platforms, but now you can. So Nyla K, you have a really good question that you asked. I'm so grateful that you did. So now on all of my artist ads, in all of my video ads, I will upload the video first to the video platform. And then I will, from the ads, which we're going to go into this when we create a campaign, from the ads platform, I'm going to go grab that video and then put it that way. Because if you upload your video to the ads platform and it's a music video and you don't put it first on your video platform, it doesn't show. Right? Are you running the ads? Yes. Is it driving the traffic? Yes. But you want all that traffic to show on that one video, right? And you can't kind of grab it from the ads platform and put it on the video platform, but you can grab it from the video platform and put it in the ads platform. So a simpler way of saying that is, like, you saw that, you know, Lala had over 2 million video views, which is just 3 seconds, guys. But it was exposed to over 2 million people, right? That video started playing in somebody's feed, at least for a couple seconds, to over 2 million people. Okay. That's the number that appears on the video. If you're using the same video file. So you want to upload first to your video platform, and then you're going to grab that video and put it into your ad. And that way, all the traffic that the ad is generating, all those consumption numbers, the comments, the likes, all that stuff is going to be visible on your on the video that you have in your video platform, the video that consumers can find right on your video platform. Does that make sense, Nyla? So, Tracy, I wish my BMI and publisher reports could go this in depth. You know what? Here's the sick reality is that they can. I mean, they can't, they don't have any infrastructure to do it like this, but they could if they were interested in doing it like this. And so this is why blockchain is just going to start blowing some stuff out of the water with all this thing. And by the way, including like, why shouldn't you get all this information literally from Spotify, from your streaming service? And why shouldn't you be paid for all the traffic that you create to Spotify instead of having Spotify dump it into like one big general fund along with the subscription revenue that they get, and then dividing it up amongst everybody? And by everybody, I mean the biggest signed artists, and they get paid, and not the indie artists who generated the money. Guys, that's going to change so freaking fast, because it's not going to be very long now before the indie artists as a whole, I'm not talking about any individual indie artists, like, well, individual indie artists may not be able to come close to the kind of business that a Morgan Wallen's going to do, or Jay-Z, or you know, pick your favorite pop star. What's her face? The Little Monsters that was in, you know who I'm talking about. I'm got a brain fart going up, but collectively, the indie artist revenue will begin to, the streaming revenue will begin to surpass the major label streaming revenue, meaning that the platforms are going to have to, they're going to have to cater to the indie artists, because the indie artists go somewhere else to get paid more because they have that kind of traffic. That's going to create a big hurting on the streaming platforms like Spotify, which are essentially a digital version of the way BMI and ASCAP now work, you know? So, Tracy, this might be too early to ask this, but how do you set up this in advance? Say the release of the music video is up in 2 weeks and I need to set this up now. Yeah, too early to ask it, Tracy. We're going to get into that in the next 3 days. So tomorrow, I believe we're going to get into campaign objectives first. So we're just going to go through all the different campaign objectives and talk about what each one does. It's important that you know what they do so that you can create a battle plan for your digital promotion that will make sense, okay, and accomplish what you want to accomplish, all right? Because if you have, you know, if you're, and I don't recommend this, but if your campaign is, you know, for engagement and you want people to engage with your ad, then that doesn't mean they're going to watch the video. It doesn't mean that they're, you know what I mean? So we're going to go over all the different objectives. There's 11 of them. We're going to talk about what each one means, the ones you need to focus on. And we're going to begin to set up tomorrow. We're going to begin to set up our campaign. Okay. And so and it starts with the objective, like what's the objective of the campaign? So that's where we're going to tackle all that. And then we're going to get into audiences on Thursday. And I'm going to show you guys some stuff that is going to freak you out in the best possible way on how to create audiences and how to think about creating audiences and how to use the data that Facebook has to your advantage and be able to test some different things and try some stuff out and find like little honeycomb hideouts of people that are going to flip over your song, over your video, over your product, you know, and make that happen. And then we're going to get to the ads part where we're going to put in, you know, the video, or we're going to put in the image ad, and I'm going to show you, and we're going to complete the whole thing and be like, as promised, I'm going to have you guys ready to run a campaign. If you're doing all the homework here, to be able to run a campaign on January 1st, 2022. Okay. So homework for today. is, and if anybody's got any more questions, by all means, please. We haven't stopped answering questions, but I'm just going to tell you homework for today is to get your pixel set up. Make sure that your pixel is in fact connected to your name and to your ads account. Okay, so I am going to go find my account. There we go, Daredevil Production. And we go down to data sources. Once again, I click on pixels. This is the pixel. So here I can see that my name is attached to this pixel, right? And if I go to ad accounts, I can see that for this ad account, that my name is attached to this ad account, and the connected assets are not done yet. We got to add that asset. So, oh, that's a line of business asset. Sorry. There we go. All right. So I just want you guys to all be done with this, okay? And then make sure that you are reporting back to the group and do that. So there we are, guys. So today, day 2 in the books. Did everybody learn something? Does this make sense? Everybody happy? Are we blowing your mind here with this information? Is it worth it, the $1.280 that you spent on it today? Let me know. So get your homework done for today. Have your pixel done. We're not going to use your pixels in your first ad campaign, but I get it done. Don't blow it off. Get it done. Go through while it's still fresh in your mind. I want you to know how to do it. And then tomorrow we're going to begin building that campaign step by step. Now that everything is set up and we're compliant, make sure that you're compliant. If you plan on having an ad that's going to drive traffic somewhere other than your Facebook platform. In other words, when I worked with Lala's video, we're promoting the video that's on her page, that it's going to be on Instagram. I'm not trying to send them to YouTube. I'm not trying to send them to Spotify. All right. So if you plan on having to send them somewhere else, like Nyla, I know you're sending people to love it, guys. Okay, Jackson, hang in there, buddy. Go look at the first day. Okay, it's still up there, and go through all that, and you're going to get set up and you'll be up to speed. And by the way, for anybody, you guys, I'm going to put a link in the group where you can, I sent out an email as well, where you can purchase like just lifetime access to all this content. If it's, I have to move fast to be able to deliver what I promised you I'm going to deliver, which is for you to have a campaign that can fly by January 1st. But, this way you can kind of go back and just review stuff and make sure that you're getting what you need. Okay. And that you can work at your own pace. There's a way to do that. I'm making it available for like $17.97, guys. It's less than 2 cocktails, and that way you can have lifetime access to that. And every time we get done with a day, I'm going to put that up on this page that I have, and you guys will have access 24/7 lifetime access, and go back and just double check stuff and work at your own pace. Okay. Anybody else got any questions at all? So I'm going to keep that first one up, Jackson, for the people. There's some people that came in late. You're not the only one, and make sure they have a little bit more time. But each video will be available in the group for 24 hours. Okay. And then after that, it's going to be available like in another place. So there you go. How will we know if our content is compelling, Nyla K? Yes, that is the question. I mean, you're going to test a bunch of stuff, Let me give you a quick example on like when I do promoter ads. What I do is I will often run 4 or 5 different versions of the same ad, Nyla. So I'll have like the meat and potatoes of the ad are the same, but the first 3 to 5 seconds different. Okay. And so I'll try just different things. I'll run the ads for a little bit. I can run the ads for 2 or 3 days. And then the data is just going to tell me which one they're responding to, which one they're not. And by the way, I'll always make a video ad for the concert promotions that I do, just as an example. And then I'll always test them against the image ad. So this is ridiculous. If I knew why this happened, I would be a gazillionaire and own the whole planet. But and I would be benevolent. I want you to know. But I on that Elton John, that New Year's Eve thing you guys are looking at from iTickets, that Elton John tribute show, they got some great promo footage of how this whole show looks, man. This guy looks so good. He sounds just like Elton John. It's like a big tribute band. It's so cool. It's so fascinating. And straight up, the image ad is blowing away the video ad. I just shut the video ads off. Nobody was giving a crap about the video ads, but they were about the image ad, right? And then on the Ronnie McDowell shows that I'm doing, who's like a country, a legacy country artist, he's like a big deal back in the 70s and the 80s, the image ads tanking and the video ad is rocking. So I don't know why, but I always test them to make sure that that happens. Okay, now we're getting a little bit ahead of the challenge here, but that's what we do. So, you know, having compelling content, I usually create a bunch of different versions of the same kind of thing, and then I'll move forward and just find out which one works better, if that makes sense. All right, guys. Anybody got any other questions at all before we wrap it up here? Thank you so much for hanging out again on day 2. I'm so glad that everybody is digging this content. I hope it's becoming a little less foreign to you. Guys, you can do this. I'm doing this because I straight up want you to win, man. I really do. I just don't even see indie artists putting their music videos in sponsored ads. And here's the thing, guys. First of all, every ad's sponsored in paid traffic. Okay. No matter what, I'm gonna end by saying this. No matter what, your favorite artists on the planet came into your awareness because of marketing and because of promotion. Okay, it's only then that you heard the music, and only then that you decided that you liked it and it impacted you. But your attention was interrupted through marketing and promotion. Now, a lot of times that was radio, right? And remember how radio used to work, okay? Radios certainly had the power to just blow up artists and launch and make really big artists like tons of money and sell out tickets and all that stuff. But their ability to launch a brand new artist was the ultimate power of radio, because nobody ever listened to radio to discover new artists. But we all discovered new artists on radio, directly or indirectly. That's a fact. Okay, everybody listened to the radio for the same reason, to hear their jam, right? So if you go back to like 1994, as an example, when Reba McEntire, God bless her, released her 18th studio album, I mean, what? Like 18 albums later, she's still relevant and crushing it? The answer is yes. Good job, Reba. Okay, so when you have 18 studio albums and you release your first single from that record, you are everybody's jam. That's my point. Everybody's dying to hear the new Reba McEntire single, Why Haven't I Heard From You? And the way the labels would very intelligently work this was to release the single, and the album's not for sale. They're going to put the single on radio. They're going to let it cook up to #1. It's going to go fast because all the stations already know and love Reba. So they're going to put it right into the playlist. And then once that thing gets cooking, they're going to let that sit there for about 2-3 months. Then they're going to drop the record, and then you can go purchase it. So it builds up demand to make that purchase. Okay. But for the 3 months or 2 or 3 months that it's not available for purchase, the only place you can hear the new song is on the radio. And remember the DJs, they're like, hey, this is Johnny D from WWKKR right here in downtown Louisiana. We're just telling you we've got the new Reba McEntire single. Why haven't I heard from you every hour on the hour? And you can only get it here on Pure Country WKKR. Johnny D, and that's the way that would work. So it's in heavy rotation. So they're literally spinning it once every 60 to 90 minutes. Okay. Then the power was they slide in this new cat named Tim McGraw that we never heard of. Okay. We never heard of Tim McGraw. And they slide that guy in. And the first 7 times that your average consumer hears that song, Indian Outlaw, I know that's the first single off the second record, but that's the one that grabbed hold. The first one flopped. So I just count that as his first record for the purists out there. Okay. But the first time they heard that, it goes in one ear and out the other. And they got to hear it again and again and again. And then after 7 times of being interrupted, you're being interrupted with your jam to put this new guy in front of you. He's placed in front of you. And then after you heard that song enough, you're like, the Indian Outlaw, like, I like the song. I like who is this guy? What is it? And you start to, you get subconscious recognition, and you start to pay more attention to it. And when I say you, I mean the consumer. You guys are all musicians. You have to realize you have the curse of knowledge. You can hear something one time and be inside of it like a 3-dimensional thing. You're like, oh, I love that kick drum sound. That's a P bass. I love the hair that they put on that P bass sound. That you might even have sophisticated enough taste to know that that's like Michael Rhodes on the P bass, or who's playing it stylistically, right? Or that Sting. He's always like closer to being on top of the beat, like in a punk fashion, with the Police than say some of these other bass players. But my point being, consumers don't think like that. They don't work like that, right? So it takes them a while, and it's the repetition and the ability to interrupt you that created those brand names. So what are we talking about here on digital ads? The ability to interrupt people that haven't heard of you. You need to do ads for 2 reasons. Number one is, especially, well, for everybody, but especially those who have amassed some decent size audiences on your Instagram and on your Facebook, your organic posts are reaching 1 to 3% of those people. So you are not even staying connected with the people who already know and love you and love your music. Okay. So it just isn't working, and it's not going to work. It's designed not to work like that. So you need to pay to make sure that you reach all of them, and make sure that every one of those knows that your new single is out. And then you're also paying money on paid traffic to interrupt people who have never heard of you and put something in their feed that you think they're going to like. Okay. And then the next strategy is, how do we do this? How do we replicate the repetition of rotational format programming on radio, right? Like heavy rotation. They hear that song so many times, it gets pounded in their head. And if it's really good, it begins to take off, and then they love it, and it becomes this fixture. Well, the reason that that's not happening so much right now with new artists, and certainly with indie artists, is because they're still releasing the way you would on radio, where the repetition part of it was built in to the programming. They're doing that on digital. The repetition isn't built in on digital. You put that stuff up on Spotify, you put that stuff up on YouTube, you put it out organically on your feed, and the people who do see it, the 1 to 3% of the people who do see it, they're going to watch it once or twice. So the trick to creating the kind of content that will just keep that hook out there. This is why TikTok breaks people. It's the same hook. Gonna ride my horse down the old town road. Gonna ride till I can't ride no more. Man, over and over and over again. Same audio hook, different video content. Okay, now imagine having the power after this Facebook ads challenge to be able to intentionally put that in front of people. And you're going to know who liked it. And so the next time you run your next single, your next release, you're definitely going to include the people that liked it in what's called a warm audience. And you're going to be able to kind of grow those people that like you through repetition. Okay. And then we're always going to be reaching out to the cold audience and continue to grow it. Now we can watch the needle move. We can fabricate this. We can be creatively make this happen. It's super inexpensive, but it does cost money. It does cost money. But man, when you learn how to do this, it's going to be the best money you've ever spent on the Facebook ads, guys. All right. So let's see. We got any more questions before I sign off here? Let's see. Great. Loving it. Great stuff. I love data. So that's interesting. Do you think it's because country folks are more apt to watch other genres, are quicker to move along? You know what, Carrie? I don't know, because here's what I didn't do for that particular ad was I just had one opening for that video ad. Usually I'll have 3 or 4, but it was a kind of turn and burn thing. It was a New Year's Eve show that just kind of got started promoting a couple weeks ago, and the promoter was like, let's go. So I didn't really kind of have chance to do what I normally would do on that. So it's a good question, but no, but because I will tell you that the Ronnie McDowell's Country, they like that. I've done it with rock and pop artists too. It just kind of depends on, I think if I had a little bit more time, in other words, to maybe make some variations, the first 5 seconds of that video ad, it might perform differently, but I haven't done it yet. Well, I'm not going to do it on this one just because the time frame was so tight, you know? So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I'll put the synopsis in, again in the emails. Once again, I'm sorry that you all, only some of you got the emails before. Forgive me for the barrage of emails that came in, but now we're past that. I know that everybody has what they're supposed to have, and it won't happen again. So thank you for that. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. We're going to start building our campaigns, and I'll put a link in the group for those of you who want kind of lifetime access to this content. You'll be able to get that very easily through that link. It's only $17.97, guys, and you can go back as early and as often as your little heart desires to make sure that you have everything set up. Okay, looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Thanks again. Have a great day. And we are right now 40% of the way through learning Facebook ads and to turning around your 2022 and transforming into something that nobody else is doing. And I'm just so freaking excited about what you guys are going to come up with. All right. I'll talk to you soon, y'all. Have a good one.